Hey everybody. Today we're going to talk about feed. We're going to talk what feed a feed use, but more importantly, with all the lambs we have right now, what I use for creep feed. And everybody will have different ideas about what they want to use for creep feed or what they're going to do. And I'm not going to tell you any one of them is right or wrong. All I'm going to tell you is what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So let me go get some of this stuff unloaded and we'll discuss that. All right, I thought we'd come out and see what everybody's doing. I got some of them around here, in and out. They've been way in the far pasture now. I've been putting them way out to the far side. That's allowed me to put the rams right in here. But I think I'm going to change them tomorrow. I'm going to let the ewes come in here, and at that point I'll move the rams over ways. Looks like everybody's heading out. Hey, you two, you on the pile? You think that's a good place to lay? Huh? Is that mother approved? Yeah, there's mom. Anyway, feeding, creep feeders, that type of stuff. Now, when we started out, every time I feed, you're feeding here in the troughs, and every time, it doesn't take maybe just a week, 2 weeks, and then you're going to find lambs right in here with moms. They're going to be right in on the troughs. They're going to be eating just there with her too. And that gives them a start. But then I like to set them up with something where they can get in by themselves. Now, here's what I initially set up for the creep feeder. There's my initial setup. And basically, it allows them, that's a purchase gate. It allows them to get in there when they're starting out. You're only going to have 1, 2, 3 go in. It's not going to be a big thing when you start. But eventually, it starts building up and you're getting more and more of them. So, what I did the other day, we'll come inside, I doubled the space. I added a 4-foot gate that I had, blocked off the wall behind. I left 2 little openings in there so they can actually get out that side, this side either way. And as you can see, got a troughs, same kind of troughs that they normally eat out of. So nothing's different there, it's just the same thing they're normally eating out of. And I'm feeding them the exact same feed that I feed out here, all right? And that's, and you might not remember, I talked about it a while back, I feed a 12% general sweet feed, good for anything. And with that, I add in a 32% protein concentrate. So basically I'll use 4 bags of the sweet feed, 1 bag of the concentrate. I end up with a 16% protein when it's all done. I like 16%, I think it's enough. The 32% protein concentrate is also medicated for cocci, so I'm covering myself for that at the same time. Now, I like to give the rams or the lambs the exact same thing in their creep feed as they're having out here. They're already used to it. They've been eating it out here. They're used to it. So that way, when they go in here for the creep feeder, it's going to be the same thing. Now, I use 2 troughs, as you saw, or trough in there instead of a feeder. All right, a lot of people are going to have, you can get a big feeder, you can fill that up, put a 50-pound bag, and there's always feed, and they can come in and take a little out. I don't like to do that because I'm using sweet feed. If you look at most pelleted creep feeds, or most creep feeds that are designed like that, they're pelleted. It's just got the plain pellets to it. So if they sit in there for a week or 2 weeks before they eat it out, it isn't really gonna make any difference. I don't wanna do that with a sweet feed. With a sweet feed, I want them to eat it that day, or at least the majority of it that day. So that's why I don't go with a feeder. I go with the trough. And my system, what I do every night, I come out here, I fill the troughs, and everybody's come. The ewes are here, the lambs are here, everybody's here to eat. Then I go over and I throw some feed in the creep feeder. I'll throw some feed in there, and by the time I'm done and come back around, there's already probably 4, 5, 6 lambs, maybe more, have all headed for there, and they're eating over there instead. So that's my way to do it. I'm not saying it's the right way to do it. I'm not saying it's the best way to do it. I'm just saying that's the way I do it. I have more time sometimes than a lot of people. Sometimes people don't have time to keep up with that. Some people I don't want to ever have them be out of feed. I want a feeder in there, and that's fine. I understand that system. If you're going to do that, then you probably don't want to sweet feed. At least I wouldn't think you would. I've never done that, so I can't say. Maybe people would, but I would think sweet feed, sitting in a feeder for 2 weeks or more before it finally gets all used up, I would think towards the end it really wouldn't be the greatest. At least that's my thoughts. So, but I wanted to cover that. I'm also had 2 new lick tubs. I'm putting new lick tubs out. These guys need a little lick tub. I need one for the rams. And I think next week I'm going to start. I've had salt blocks for them, but I think I'm going to come back. Some discussions I've had with some other people and stuff, and I think I'm going to come back with some loose mineral. So I think between the loose mineral, the salt blocks, I think I'm going to cover both ends. 50-pound bag of loose mineral is going to run me 25, 30 bucks. Ain't that big of a deal. So I'm going to give that a shot and see. Should tell you too, on the rams. Of course, we got Stu, we got Stony. That's going to be the 2 breeder rams, but the other 4, Skeeter, Ringo, Little Wayne, Lamb Chop, they're all sold and they're all leaving. They will be going to Minnesota. Now they're not going to go to Minnesota until next fall, so they're going to stay here over the summer. We'll take care of them. We'll have them out on pasture and that during the summer. But come fall, they're going to be heading up to Epic Antler Ranch, which is in southeast Minnesota. It is a high fence hunting operation. If you're looking for deer hunt, ram hunt, or anything else they might have, I'm going to put a link down in the description just in case that interests you. Take a look at the place. They got a link to their Facebook page. So those 4 are going to be heading up there, and we are done with any of the 2021 stuff, and we've got some of these sold. We got some left. I'm taking my website and my sale page. I'm just updating that now, putting everybody in there that's still going to be for sale. Mostly rams. I think there's only got 1 ewe in there, but when you don't have very many ewes, you don't have much. So not going to be a lot this week. Talk about I want to get into the creep feeder, because I think that's important, having a good spot for a creep feeder. Give those lambs something extra. Next week, if everything holds, and I think it will, we're going to bring everybody in, all the ewes and lambs in. And this is the one I always hate doing. This is the one I don't like to do. We're going to bring everybody in, and we're going to get the lambs their first CDT shot. They need 2 CDT shots. And again, that can vary about each person. Somebody wants them a lot sooner, somebody later. The main thing is, let's get 2 CDT shots in. They need that, and it's up to the individual when you want to give it. I am going to do it now, because you give the first CDT shot, the second one comes 30 to 60 days after. All right, so we're going to do one now, and that way when I pull off the ram lambs in 12 weeks, when they're 12 weeks old and want to wean them, that's when everybody's going to get their second one. So if I give the first one now, then it should be about 6 weeks before weaning of the ram lambs. We can go ahead and give the second CDT shot then. And as I said, this is the one I kind of hate, but I think I got a new idea this year how to do this. We got all those little lambs, and I got 10 ewes and 17 lambs, and we're going to run them up in a catch pen. And this is where you're always hoping that the lambs don't get trampled and sat on, laid on, or whatever by a bunch of ewes in there. And so that's why I always kind of hate this one, but what are you going to do? That's about the only way you can do it. But I got an idea. With the pen out here, the catch pen is something different. This year, I think I got an idea that might make it a little bit better, and might make it a little easier on those lambs so we don't get anybody crushed into it. But anyway, that should be next week, unless something comes up. That's what I plan to do, if the time is about right anyway. So, all right. That's all I got this week. I just want to talk about creep feeders. I think creep feeders is important, so I want to get some information on that out of what I'm doing anyway, and give you another option maybe. See you next week.